full moon's in Aquarius, and I'm an Aquarius rising.
Right.
And an Aquarius moon. So I feel like this is my perfect time to shift.
Restaurant Punk, what's up?
Restaurant
Punk. Restaurant Punk.
Welcome back.
Yes, absolutely.
How's everybody feeling?
Spectacular.
Good. How about you?
I'm just loving the spring, the fall. I guess I'd be midsummer. You look springy, you look fall.
That's it. We're just like eclecticizing.
What season is it?
Is that a word? I like that. Eclecticizing.
It's not real.
No, but I like it. It sounds good.
What's
so I want to talk about workplace rituals.
Well, I don't. So next
Why
topic.
not?
I'm kidding.
Really?
What kind of rituals are we talking?
Okay,
It's
so, like,
a full
here's the
moon,
thing.
and I plan on doing
Does it
some weird
involve
rituals
crystals?
later.
So like I want to talk
Singing
about like the witchy workplace a little bit. Like, do you have something that you do? Like maybe you're getting ready to
so you
start your
really
shift.
are talking about
I
the
really am.
rituals.
I mean, like, do we
Yes.
have like something that like you do before you start your shift or before the store opens? Is there something that you like to do to help you get through your workday?
So we worked together over at the One Who Shall Not Be Named for a while. That's where I met him. And I feel like when I was just working somewhere, like I practiced it more within my workspace, which
This is a
kind of sucks
necessity?
because it was, I don't know. Like, I guess, again, I just had so much more time on my hands to where like when I was leaving work, it was like, okay, all I had to do was plan out what I'm wearing that night. Do I have enough of a bank? And do I have my 3 essential crystals on me going into this place?
Which crystals? I'm just curious.
I usually would bring green aventurine. I would bring tiger's eye, either pyrite or carnelian. Those were like my rotation. Obviously, like the occasional obsidian or clear quartz. Just I usually always just have a clear quartz on deck.
That's
Period. That's
issue.
just kind of like a staple. But now going into work or going into my restaurant, I'm like, oh, I have to get all the close a day sheets. I need to go pick up 6 lemons. I need to go do this. I need to go do that. That like I've been neglecting rituals. And shit you not, the other day when I was talking to Peter about it, I was like, you know what? I need to take a bath. And I'm bringing all my crystals and my fresh bay leaves and my red candle and my little chants and my little this and my little that. And I sat there and I kid you not, the next day I had a full blown mental breakdown.
Oh.
But it was like a release.
So
like my
drawing
body,
it
like
out?
I felt like a demon was extracted out of me after that. And over the last couple of days, I have been so much more productive and reorganizing my life. Like it's full moon's in Aquarius and I'm an Aquarius rising and an Aquarius moon. So I feel like this is my perfect time to shift,
Anything else?
all of
Noelle?
my energy and stuff. But like on the day to day, I don't have as many rituals as I used to, as opposed to now, like knowing it's a full moon, like, yes, I will be cleansing.
But for like the people that don't know or that don't, participate in the crystal life, like why do you do it? Like, why were you doing it? What was like your goal?
Well, with crystals, especially, like they harness so much energy. They harness the energy that you put into them, plus the energy like of just the overall universe. So for me, especially as a worker, I'm like, I'm trying to manifest some money, a smooth shift, confidence, like things like that, to where I would bring specific crystals that pinpoint each and every one of those things that you're looking for.
Right.
So it's more for me like a manifestation on how I can manipulate the night to go for me.
Right.
And some people call it the placebo effect. Like, oh, you think you have it, you think it works, so things are going to go in that favor. But I think both of us are very much into like you get what you put out into the universe.
And you also get what you expect.
Exactly.
Because I know like when I used to work on the boardwalk, I always used to go in every shift and I would be like, okay, I'd be like, it's going to be a good night. Everything's going to go well. Everything's going to go smooth. It might be a little crazy, but the customers are going to be friendly. Everything is going to be nice. My uncle's going to have his shit together, like trying to just like set everything and like talk it out there.
Yes.
So this way I knew that I could go in and like try to have like a clear headspace, knowing that the night was going to be fine, even though I had no idea what the actual outcome was going to be, obviously. But I would always try to like talk myself into that, be like, it's going to be a good night. Everything's fine. Everyone's going to make money. It's going to be good. No problems.
Well, some people, you always feel like they always have some kind of crisis going on. They come to work. And so that goes back to me. My thinking is you get what you expect. So you're kind of manifesting like the bad shit to happen.
Yes.
That's all you focus on.
Right.
And that's all you see. And that's all you attract.
Right.
But Yeah, I bring crystals, right? Clear quartz.
Always.
I always have that. I have that. I usually keep in my bag. You just always have to have that. Amethyst and then rose quartz. Because if you're a miserable and you need love and calmness in your life, then the rose quartz. And then if you're planning on hitting me up with any psychic attacks, amethyst.
Yes, big amethyst girl.
So I carry it and I keep this on all the time. This is amethyst. I look at me and this is smoky quartz, but I carry it because my mindset is, you're not gonna ruin my night. No way. So I have to have protection. Wait, then there's that. And then I have a singing bowl. I ding it in every corner of the restaurant, in the kitchen, every person who works that day. None of you ruining my night. I mean, it still happens, but one time I did it. Didn't you it just mellowed everyone out? Everyone was so mellow.
The dining room into some kind of weird.
And that's the thing is I think whether you believe in it or not, I think it does have a placebo effect of they say it's going to do this. And then all of a sudden you're like, ooh, I kind of feel it too. It just gets into your head that it did or could potentially do something and it creates that different energy. It's a huge energy shift. And
right, but because it's you're centering yourself first. Either you're convincing yourself that that's going to be the outcome because it's you have your tools. We'll call them tools, right?
Yes, they are tools.
You have your tools.
They are.
And then, you're like, I'm armed here now. This is my armor. These are my tools.
Yes.
It's going to be good. I'm going to be fine.
Yes.
And then that you're centered. So it's you're grounding yourself the minute you walk in the door or get ready for
exactly. And I feel it also it's one thing. I feel when I have my crystals on hand, right? You can't cut any deeper than just what's up front. I feel there's times to where when I'm not strapped with everything that I need and I go in and things just affect me deeper than the average day-to-day shit that I'm just so used to dealing with. But for whatever reason, when having crystals or just any kind of talisman or whatever with me, I feel so much more protected that even if, let's say on a Tuesday you said something to me and it cut deep, well, Thursday I was strapped and you came and said the same thing and it didn't affect me the same way.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't cut as deep.
Yeah, well, some people are like, oh, that's such bullshit. Crystals, energy, manifesting bullshit. Okay, well, consider this. There's no way people have not experienced this. You're around someone who's always in a good mood. Don't you feel suddenly your mood lifts? You feel lighter.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%.
And then you have that person who's always a chronic complainer. There's always some crisis in their life. And it's almost like they just weigh you down and it feels very heavy to be around them. So that's energy. So you are affected by energy. And I look at it this way. Consider you go out, and let's say you have seasonal allergies, tree pollen allergies. You go out, the pollen, gets on you, it's floating around the air. It can affect you to varying degrees depending on the person. Oh, let's say the pollen sits on your arm. You can blow it off. It doesn't affect you that much as far as sticking on you. Imagine if your tree sap gets on you and it's really hard to get off. That's how I see being around other people's energy.
Right,
That's why I'm very conscious of being around certain people.
Yeah.
And if they're bringing me down or the energy sticks to me like tar or sap, I don't want to be anywhere near you.
No, because I know I've worked with you before and I've worked with you before. And anytime I've ever worked with either of you guys, I always feel better instantly. The moment, if I see Liz walk in the door, I'm like, oh, it's good.
It's going to be a good night.
Yeah, I feel it. We're good, Or if me and you were working together and you're like, oh, we got this team.
Yeah, it's smooth as hell. We know that it's going, because we can also, I feel our energies match in the sense of the way you work. We don't really have to necessarily talk or communicate in certain ways because our body language is just moved
automatically
naturally.
Speaks that kind of way.
And that it just makes it so much easier. But I just had to let go of someone who was working for us. And I'm her energy did not match anybody else. It just came down to, I have a really good team and I love how everybody works together. And I could see that the energy was just overall off with her. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was just off. And I'm this just doesn't fit the demographic. And not only was it the energy, but it was the effort. And then it started more things. And for me, I'm okay, I can't be prideful to be I hired her. I have to make this work. I have to let go of my own pride and be you know what? You made a mistake. Or now you learned this wasn't the best fit. Just move on from it. You're in control. Move on from it.
Yeah.
I look at it as whether it's professionally, personally. Just sometimes people's energy it doesn't resonate with yours,
right?
And sometimes it just doesn't resonate at that point in your life. You can revisit it 5 years from now, and all of a sudden it changes. But it's also what they have going on in their life.
Absolutely,
and it doesn't make them a bad person, but you just need to recognize it. One thing I do, people think it's stupid. I don't care. So a lot of times my other job, I go in, I bartend, and it's a high volume nightclub, and there's a lot going on. When people are drinking, their energy the whole room changes.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think of like a white column of light that envelops me for the entire shift, and it protects me from other people's bullshit. Like, I don't want to be your bullshit. Like, I don't want to hear your negative stories, your like Debbie Downer shit. Like, get the away from me.
Yeah.
And I just envision it just surrounding me. And every day, you guys don't even know this. I told you this.
Yeah.
I actually send it out to all of you on the podcast.
Oh.
Every day I say, but I do this like manifesting. Don't make me cry.
I'm gonna cry.
I do this manifesting thing where I say,
funny story. One time I was having a really shitty day at the store, and I'm over there, and it was just like everything just seemed like it was like so draining. And then I get a text message from like Liz, and then it was like 2 minutes later, I'm like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
It was like I felt like she like sent like beamed like the goodness like through the telephone, and I was like, oh, I'm like
She's
good
like,
now.
you need this. Tap in.
No, but it's like she do too.
I think it's good to like not only manifest on your behalf,
Right.
manifest on other people's behalf.
Yeah.
I think that's powerful.
It's very powerful because some people are not in a place to do that for themselves. And like, for instance, this last week, I shut down. Like, even Jenny, I guess I talked to George earlier that day, but then Jenny texted me and she was just like, I love you. And I could not stop crying that entire day. Like, it was just one thing after another, and I couldn't stop. And that's when I realized, I was like, okay, I can't remember the last time I meditated. I can't remember the last time I manifested something for myself. I've been every morning I've been waking up and complaining about how chaotic my life is. So naturally it's spinning in complete chaos more and more every day because I'm doing not a damn thing to fix it.
Right.
And I just feel like I have all this pent up like bullshit. Like I just felt icky. And so I was like, you know what? I don't care. I literally had like 5 rose quartz all around the tub. I had like all these things. And it was really just about like the vitality of my own life and like what I need to do and what I need to change and just getting back into my own routines of taking care of me. And literally all in the same week, we dropped the podcast of me preaching to the freaking choir. Mental health is important. Take care of yourself. And I watched myself and I was like,
Right.
Yeah.
when was the last time I did that?
Yeah.
I get out of the tub and I'm gathering all my crystals and cleaning it up because it's also Theo's tub. So I'm like, let me get my crystals out of the way so I can put the baby toys back in the tub. And one of my rose quartz just shattered. Like it
Interesting.
lightly tapped something and shattered. And I was like, that I feel like gave me every last bit of energy that I needed. And then it was done. It was like, you took every last bit of energy. And so
what'd you do with
naturally, every time a crystal breaks, either I re-gift it and give it to somebody else and they can use it for their own purposes now. Or more likely than not, I plant them in all my plants.
Yes, bury them.
So
yes.
I always put them in the soil of all of my plants, like around my house. And like, I'll do a quick little like incense, like I'll clean them, charge them, put them in and let them refill their purpose, put them back into the earth in some kind of way. Because I've used it to the max capacity. And it was funny because the next day then I exploded, couldn't stop crying. And then I just felt an enormous wave of, I feel so much better.
Right.
Like even just at least because I recognized it and I could get back into the daily routine.
Right. Do you think that like this type of, like spirituality in a sense is like more prevalent like now? Because I know like growing up, especially in like restaurants and things, I'm Greek. So like I'm Greek Orthodox. So like in our restaurants that we used to have on the boardwalk and stuff, like a priest would come in, they would bless the whole restaurant, say their prayers. And then there was always like an icon somewhere, so that's, I feel like doing the same kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely.
Even in that sense, it's like, but that different type of spirituality, but it's the same. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The same kind of.
No, it's definitely way more, I feel like, common now. I think that, you also have to literally look at history and like the witch trials and shit. So like people that are practicing like what we practice right now literally were burned at the stake.
Right.
And for the most simplest of things of manifestation, like, yeah, people are like, oh, they were crazy witches. They were casting spells. They were manifesting.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, there's a huge difference to where it was so frowned upon for so long. And I think that as silly as it sounds, people shied away from even because even you putting that out there, people will still try to diminish it. They'll still try to suck the energy out. Like, yeah, okay, I carry crystals. Oh, cool rocks. You know what I mean? Like people try to suck that energy back out of you. So I think people are very particular in even how they go about talking about it with people, because it's like, I don't care to exert that energy to you and to give you anything of me if you're just going to tear it down.
Shit on it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care if people think it's crazy, they think it's stupid, they don't believe it, and that is fine. You're not me, and that's fine.
Yeah, and it works. It works for me.
There's so many. Some of the most successful people, like in terms of like manifesting, they do have their own manifesting rituals. They do meditate. Like I don't know. A couple years ago, I listened to Arnold Schwarzenegger's audiobook.
Right.
And I think he said he spends, either an hour a day or an hour twice a day meditating. And it totally like changed like everything for him and made him more focused. But his whole life, like he has actually a documentary out on Netflix. It's really good. And it talks about his rise like through the bodybuilding and how he just would manifest and he was like so focused.
Right.
And that goes back to meditating and manifesting.
Right.
You think the most successful people aren't sitting there trying to manifest their shit? They 100% are. Maybe they're not talking about it, but they are.
Yeah.
But I feel like today, especially, like there's a bigger shift for people to look to that type of spirituality, because I feel like, especially like in today's environment, everything is so chaotic. Everything is so out of control. Everything is so fast that it's like we're trying to take back ourselves in a way. So it's like we're looking to other sources and like learning about these kinds of things in order to try to take back ourselves so we can take control over our own, like being in destiny.
Absolutely.
Really.
And people should, right?
Yeah,
so many people look outside of themselves for reassurance or validity or anything, or just their self-conscious confidence. They look to other people, and it's not other people's jobs to make you feel good.
No.
It's your job
to
figure it out. But anyway, I don't even know how we got onto this. Well, actually, I do know. You brought it up, but it's good stuff. It's a good topic. It's a good topic. I like it because there's a lot of things people don't talk about, and a lot of people don't feel comfortable admitting
that they
absolutely.
Like that kind of thing,
I don't think a lot of people feel comfortable about admitting it. And plus, like you said, I just think it's a time now though where people are like, okay, whatever I'm doing isn't working, and I need to take matter into my own hands. And there's more resources that are out right now. And I feel like, although I can see a way where I feel like people are really like capitalizing on the whole thing, which there's always going to be people doing that. At the end of the day, there's still so many more accessible tools.
Right.
Yes.
There's like just more podcasts. There's more, I don't know, just access to spirituality that I think like people didn't realize like you had to be a part of a cult or this or that, to where it's like, no, you can choose your own spirituality.
Sure.
You can choose to worship yourself, the universe, the like anything, just to get yourself there, to be the best person you could be for everybody.
Right.
I'm not saying be your own God, because God forbid, but I'm just saying like
don't wear a shirt that says God is a woman.
God forbid you wear a shirt that says God is a woman, which is an Ariana Grande song, Grow Up. But at the end of the day, it's like, use your power. Like I think that people fail to put control in their own hands and to use their own power and energy to get what you deserve out of this lifetime.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is like what, Liz just said, it's like you're sitting there and you're like not looking to other people to like do that for you anymore.
Absolutely.
You're taking control and you're like, this is what I'm doing now. I'm the master of my own destiny.
Yes.
I can make my life the way I want it to be. I don't have to accept, mediocrity or shittiness.
That's right.
Or like, bad things. So yeah, absolutely. We love it.
Well, I love you guys. What a great little chat we had today. Yeah. This is awesome.
If you don't like it, then turn the channel.
You don't have to buy your own
or
crystals.
just comment. Be a hater. Yeah. We still get entertained.
You don't have to
We're
be
still
into
entertained by it.
But it seems to do something.
All right.
It does.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Restaurant Punk.
Bye.
Peace and crystals.
Restaurant. No. Oh, God damn it. Why?
Gotta clap first.
Oh, yeah, that's right. All right. Restaurant Punk.
Restaurant Punk, what's up?